Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Welcome, divas, to the very first episode of Pudecast. I'm your host, Pooter Schmood. Today we're going to be talking about pop culture. Just kidding. Well, I mean, we can talk about pop culture. Sure. I wasn't planning on it. Honestly, I wasn't really planning on anything. I probably should have planned for this. You know what I didn't do? I didn't paint on my my unibrow. That's okay. Will you guys forgive me? Guys, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I... Hold on. Oh. I thought I got a text. Just kidding, no. Don't you hate that? Sometimes I'll take a moment and I'll put my phone somewhere. And maybe, I don't know, I'll go have some fun. Maybe I'll sew something. Maybe I'll make a little craft. Maybe I'll oven bake a pizza. Like, duh, how else are you supposed to make a pizza? And then I'll come back to my phone and no one texts me. Is it partially because I don't text anyone about anything ever? No, I don't. Honestly, I don't think that has anything to do with it. Because my job is to say funny reactions to what you send me. It is certainly not my job to ask how you're doing, though. Don't ever expect me to be like, hey, friend, how... Is your mom still in the hospital? I don't care. Like, I love you. I don't care about your mom being in the hospital. That's not my business. But sure. Let's talk about some pop culture. Ariana Grande confirmed that she's still with us. No, didn't something happen where we finally got confirmation on whether the Ethan Slater thing was a cheating scandal? Crazy. Actually not very crazy, because I guess that's like what the narrative was the whole time. But wow. I had faith in you, Ariana. Not really. I don't know you very well. I never met you. You seem like a lovely gal, but I don't know. Whenever I see her at events, she doesn't talk to me. I take it a little personal. Enough about pop culture, okay? Is my input on pop culture literally necessary to anybody? It's certainly not necessary to me. So let's just move on. Okay. So, TikTok, is it getting banned? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I care so much. Because... when you're just like an artist like me, the audience is going to find you. The fans will just find you. But why was I talking about the TikTok ban? I feel like there was something I had to say. Oh, right. So, I've migrated to Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Pooterschmood. Who'da thought? Who'd have thought I was also Pooter Schmood on Instagram? Why? Why do I need to... okay. Everyone who's ever followed me, why has it not been your first instinct to go to all of my social media pages and follow me? I take that personal. Not only do I take that personal, I have a vendetta against you. So... it doesn't matter. Anyways... I asked the lovely people who follow me on Instagram to ask me some questions. And hey, they didn't really follow through, if I'm being completely honest. But let's just head right into it, because we've got some questions. Okay. Kylie asks, "Are you gay?" I feel like it's obvious that I am a straight man, a straight heterosexual man, And I don't appreciate questions like that because I'm not a faggot and I would never associate myself with faggots. So I really just jumped into this, didn't I? Should I have prefaced more? Is there more that needed to be said before jumping into Instagram questions? I really kind of dove into that, didn't I? Sorry about it. I don't know. Look, right now, this isn't about professionality. It's not about anything other than the love in my heart. And it has to get out there. And this passion inside of me, it has to flow. And it has to exist. And so I have to make my art no matter what the case is. Even if it's brand new, I know that I must prevail. And also I spent $500 on a camera and some equipment. So I'm going to just head right in. Yeah. Let's get back into the Instagram question. What got me into clowning? Great. Thank you for that question. So here's the thing. Picture it. It is New Year's Eve 2023. My good Judy, Kylie. Don't call me Judy. She put me in some white makeup. She dressed me up as the Cat in the Hat. I looked scrumptious. It was like, oh, this makes sense now. And then thanks to RuPaul's Drag Race, I got into sewing, and thanks to Dead Grandma for the sewing machine, because otherwise, I just started much later. I don't know. I just kind of put pedal to the metal, and I just kind of did what I could. The first costume I ever made was the first costume you ever saw. The sleevey costume was the first thing I ever created with my own two hands. I had never made food before. I had never even made my bed. Because I knew God, and I don't know, look, maybe you guys, I don't know. I don't get that vibe from you guys. Maybe you're not into God, but I know God is true. And it's the Christian God. He spoke to me in white Caucasian American English, because that's what God does. He's a white man, thank you. And he told me, you need to have idle hands for the time being until you are, how old was I? Till you're 19. And then you can start making horrible, horrible costumes. And I said, okay. So really, actually, what I said about Kylie was a lie. And the truth is that Jesus, God, had come to me and told me who I was meant to be. Thank you so much for that question. Why? Okay. Old Dead Poet says, why clowns? I don't know. I'll have to ask my mom. My mom asks, why don't you have an online shop? Sell your stuff. Mom, I'm not feeding into. My art is art. And capitalism can burn in hell. Fuck capitalism. And fuck Santa Claus. Because that bitch, ooh, that had nothing to do with capitalism, but Santa knows what the fuck he did. And also, nothing that I do that comes to sewing is at all how you're supposed to make anything. I don't follow patterns because I'm not exactly the sample size. I don't know if you could guess by the fact that I'm 300 pounds and 6'1", but I'm not exactly the sample size for any sewing pattern that exists on any planet. So, what do I gotta do? I gotta find what I already own. I have to fold up clothes and then place them on top of the fabric and cut it with actually plastic children's scissors. Because why are scissors for fabric so fucking expensive? Can you tell me that? $40? What's that about? We need to talk about the elephant in the room, the economy. And I think, just like anyone else, I am the guy to go to when it comes to stuff about the economy. Economy the Clown was actually my original name, before God had different plans. Thank God Trump's going to lower the price of eggs with his tariffs. I'm like bleeding. Am I bleeding? No. God. That's why you should always be yourself, because that was a little joke right there. And then look how my body reacted. My nose started bleeding. Because I wasn't being my authentic self. So that's why everyone out there in the world who's watching, and also the people who aren't watching, you guys need to be authentic to yourself. You guys need to hold strong and live your life, queen. Yas. What was the question? Morgan asks, where does the name Puderschmood come from? Thank you so much for that question. My government name is Jude. And so when I was a little kid, my dad would call me Pood. And sometimes he called me Schmood. And then I guess that evolved into Puderschmood. Honestly, Puderschmood's kind of been my name as much as Jude has been my real name. Girl, shut up. That's so boring. I just got so ridiculously bored with whatever it was that I was talking about that I wanted to just pick up this table and rip it in half. God, shut up. Why the fuck am I doing this? This is horrible. But it's fun. We're just starting. No pressure, because this is the beginning and we'll find our stride. And I'm aware that the camera angle is so bad and so horrible. And believe it or not, I'm not standing in front of space. This is a green screen. So just a little patience. Just a little, no one's complained yet. I'm just preparing. What would you be doing if not clowning? Oh, God. I would probably be I don't know. If I wasn't clowning, I'd probably just be doing some other bullshit. Everyone's got some bullshit that they're doing. Everyone's got some pointless bullshit that they're doing. And I guess this is just my pointless bullshit that people on the internet started to like. So I was like, hey, if I can make a couple dollars from a Cameo, which please buy a Cameo from me, in my bio, I'll flip and do it. I'll flip and keep going. I'll keep sewing and making people question. Make people question. Excuse me. Okay, Annie asks, what is a clown look that deserved a bigger moment than it got? Thank you for that question, by the way. God, y'all did not just give me 40 minutes of thunderous ovation for that beetle look. Y'all, that was incredible. Maybe I'm just so far up my own ass that I can't see that it's quite bad. But I look at it and I'm like, oh, so I'm a superstar. I look at it and I go, oh, I'm Elon Musk's, right? But instead of Teslas and, being a horrible person, I'm a pretty bad person, and it's cardboard that I've hot glued brown fabric from a thrift store onto. And so for me, I think I deserve a very heavy, heartfelt apology from each of you. Favorite historical clown? I don't know any fucking clowns. I know me, and that's the only clown that matters. But also there's a lot of clowns on TikTok, and it's a great community over there. I would suggest everyone just go through the people that I'm following. If you see a porn account, just ignore it, and then just follow all of the clowns that I follow because they're wonderful. They're amazing. Favorite thing about clowns? I hate clowns. Okay. 11111N444AD14A4A11111111 asks, I just found you. I'm curious if the clown costume is just a costume or is it a second personality? It's kind of like a sinus infection, but like a sinus infection you want to have. Well, that's all the questions. At least all the questions that I care about answering, because you guys weren't that creative with the questions you were asking, so I'm just gonna move on. Guys, it's actually my favorite time of year right now. And I know that's going to be really controversial because I think this is everyone's least favorite time of year. But I love right when Christmas is over. It's so like pressure's off because everyone's kind of in a bad mood until like March. And I feel like it just lets me like... It's such a big sigh. Big sigh from Pud, everyone. It's a big sigh because... Now, I know if someone's acting off, I can just play it off in my head as like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. It's the weather, you know? Even if I am at fault, which, you know, I think we can all agree. I've never done anything wrong, but it's winter. It's cold. It's rainy. The sun never is right above my head. That's a big thing. Do you guys like, okay. I have this weird thing where when the sun is like right above me from like, let's say like noon to like 4 or 3 in the summer, that's the worst time to be alive. It just feels like so much pressure on my heart and on my soul and on my neck and on my back and on my pussy and my crack. Fuck the summer. Fuck the summer right up the butt because I just can't handle warm weather. And like, you know about like I get poo, just like put air conditioner in your room. I have an air conditioner. I have a $400 state-of-the-art Costco air conditioner. Yeah, Costco. Bet you feel really fucking stupid now, don't you? Because I'll do it. I'll put it, and it's fine, and it's great, and it's wonderful. I can close the window. I got blackout curtains, so I'm not worried about the heat. But like the fact that I can't open up my window and get like a good fresh air, cold breeze coming into my body, it's like it's worse than the time that I got into a serious car crash in the 5th grade. It's worse. No, I'm not going to go that far because I'm not sure who's watching this. Let's just pretend I wasn't going to say anything there. It's the worst thing on the planet. Oh, and like a rainy day and it's like pouring rain outside. It just makes you want to watch a nice cartoon from your childhood. Makes you want to watch a great cartoon from your childhood. Y'all, let's talk about cartoons from our childhood. Guys, I really want to start watching TV again. I feel like watching TV is the new books. Back in the day, it was like stop watching that. Stop watching the TV. Stop watching movies. Go read the paper. But honestly, with like the way it's going, I'm like, get off the TikTok. Go watch a show. That's like, I just feel like the gap is about that big. Like TikTok brain rot is the new watching a show because it's like the less healthy version of consuming entertainment. And now if I read a book, I might as well have like taken an Advil. Like it feels like it changes my system. I feel like the swelling in my body goes down when I read a book. I feel like the immense IBS that I feel goes away when I read a book. Do y'all have potty troubles? Let's not talk about it. Let's move on. Let's talk about the cartoons. Dude, I was a big Steven Universe fan. I don't know if you could tell by the fact that I have blue hair and I'm kind of a cross-dresser now. But yeah, it was big for me. It was big. Humongous even. How about we talk about Chex Mix? Ugh, that's really what's weighing on my heart. I don't love Chex Mix. I gotta be honest. But my house is often stocked with Chex Mix. And I just need to talk about the anatomy of Chex Mix right now because it's like, so we got the Chex, and one of them is like normal Chex and the other one is a little seasoned. I'm not sure what the seasoning is. It's a little strange, but it's good and I appreciate it and I enjoy it. And then we've got the circle pretzel and then the like window looking pretzel. And then we've got the little breadstick and we have the 2 slices of bread. I need to talk about the order in which I care about them. So first, number 1 on the list has to be the seasoned Chex because it's so necessary. You can't just have the normal Chex because then you can just buy normal Chex and it's like, who cares? This is pointless. And then it's gonna have to go ahead and be the normal Chex because delish. It's classic, but it will never be seasoned. Seasoned Chex like is always going to be that girl. Chex could never do seasoned Chex the way that it does, and I appreciate it. Next is going to be the circle pretzel, and I say this with ambition. I have words to say about it because it really weighs in on my heart how different the circle pretzel is from the window pretzel because it might as well be on 2 different parts of the food pyramid. Honestly, it's ridiculous because like there is too much pretzel in the window pretzel. It's a little bit ridiculous. Can we agree? Can you agree with me? Because guys, please agree with me. Guys, if I don't have someone to like back me up here, I'm alone in this feeling, I'm gonna change my opinion. Because if no one agrees with me, then I'm like the outcast and I can't be that. So I'm literally gonna change my opinion if you guys don't agree. Because it's circle pretzel, I think is like, that's great. Keep it how you are. What? I'm not sure if that made sense. So we're gonna put that at 3. Number 4, I'm gonna say it's the white piece of bread that's a little crunchy. What would you call that? A cracker? Just a thing? Who is she? I don't know, but I prefer when she's like cracked in half. Because when you're never just eating Chex Mix singlets. You're getting a goddamn handful. So my issue is they're too big. The slices of little bread are too big. And it just pisses me off because if I'm going for a handful, I want like a good even amount of everything that I want. But when the bread is in there, it's like, oh, that's half the goddamn handful now. Now I'm just gnawing on a fucking dry bread from last week that expired. And I don't want that. I don't think you want that. Anyways, my problem is that it's too big. But the thing is sometimes they get crunched up in the bag. And when they're crunched up in the bag, if it's like a third of one of those, love it. Huge respect from me. Then I'm going to say it's the breadstick because it's a little dry. I can't, when it comes to food that's a little dry, I just can't do it. It like sandpapers on my tongue. And it almost like, my teeth have a reaction to something that's super dry and crunchy like that. It feels like I have a cavity, even if I don't have a cavity there, which I probably do. Let's be real. I probably do. I got 16 cavities pulled this year. And I know my teeth look really yellow, but that's because of the white face. They are normally, they're fairly yellow, but it's exacerbated a little bit. So give me some grace. What was I even talking about? Oh yeah, it's too crunchy. The breadstick is a little too dry. Let's maybe put a little seasoning on it. And I know there's a little bit of seasoning on it, but I want the amount of seasoning that's on the seasoned Chex to be on that breadstick. Maybe there's an issue there because it's like the seasoned Chex is very porous, and that's why the seasoning sticks. But I don't know. You can do something. You're like probably a multi-billion-dollar company. You can find out how to make the breadsticks extra seasoned. Like, come on, don't give me that attitude ever again. So that's gonna have to go there. Then we have the window pretzel. Again, too much bread. It's a little insane how much bread is there. Makes me a little angry, but okay. We don't need to talk about it again. We talked about it earlier with the circle pretzel. Last is the burnt piece of bread. Fuck you. Fuck that piece of bread. It's horrible. If that is anywhere above like the bottom two of your ranking of Chex Mix, I don't know if I like trust you. It's bad. It's horrible. Oh, but it's necessary. I'm so sorry that I ever spoke poorly about you, but I am still putting you on the bottom of the list because you're a special little treat every now and then. Because sometimes you want like a little bit of like a mix up. You want it to be a little fun. You want to go cuckoo. You want to go bonkers, and you can, and I respect that, and I'm okay with that. But the tea is, if I'm getting a handful and I get that burnt piece of bread. If I get that burnt piece of bread, it's downhill. I like almost can't eat any more of the Chex Mix because like, everything is in my mouth is so dry. Chex Mix is it dries my mouth out like a motherfucker. It drives me crazy. Am I crazy? Oh, so I'm the crazy one. Yeah, well, you want to know what, Sydney? I don't know. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. I just think it's a little much to be any sort of snack food and be that dry. I'll take a little umbrage when it comes to Cheez-Its. And cause it's like, there's something there. It's like, when a pastry is a little layered, it's dry, but it's layered. So there's something about it where it can't be too dry because the layers on the inside, they're not as dry as the outside layer. So there's still something there, which is kind of how a Cheez-It works, right? And it's cheesy. Cheese is wet. Well, I guess not, but it's not very dry. Well, Gouda is, isn't it? Or not Gouda. Feta. Feta's a dry cheese, dude. I do like feta though. I really like feta. But we were talking about Cheez-Its. And is there feta Cheez-Its? Kylie, can you look that up? She's not here. Kylie, can you look that up? Thank you. I don't know. Maybe feta's too far. Maybe a feta Cheez-It's too far. Because, like, I like feta, but I think I'm bluffing a little bit. Like, I'm bluffing at least a little bit. A feta Cheez-It? How do you make Cheez-Its? Because now I'm like, I kind of want to make feta Cheez-Its. Anyways. Okay. What's another wet snack? No! Let's not talk like that. But we do need to talk about... No, we don't. But yeah, I think... Okay, we were talking about the burnt bread, right? In the Chex Mix. Sometimes it's a welcomed little surprise. And when I'm talking about the bread, any time that I'm appreciative of the bread, the little bread bitches in Chex Mix, it is only when it is shattered to hell. Because I know I draw on a big smile, but I got a little mouth. I got a little mouth with a weird upper lip. It's not tiny, but it arches in a very strange way. I've got, what's that, Cupid's bow? Very defined Cupid's bow. It's a little funky. And it looks like the arches of McDonald's. The arches of McDonald's. And it's just a little odd. Why am I talking about my lips? I got a small mouth. And so, it's just like when I'm getting a handful of Chex Mix, as one does, And if you ever are just getting like, okay, actually I do sometimes, we'll just get one Chex out of the Chex Mix thing, because sometimes I'm just feeling the Chex. I'm not feeling anything else other than the Chex. But yeah, I don't know if I'm honestly, my tune about all of this could change on a dime. So don't hold me to any of these opinions. But I honestly, like I'm revising the list in my head. I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I stand by that. But I don't know. I'm growing. My body's changing. And I think like maybe my taste buds will change. Did you know you can, like, when people are like, I just burned my taste buds off. That's a thing. They probably weren't lying. Maybe they were. Maybe they were being dramatic. But I'm saying like that can happen. And your taste buds, yeah, they grow back. They grow back. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love microphone. Oh, I want to keep talking about snacks. So, okay. I have like a snack checklist. I don't do it very often, but sometimes I'm like, okay, it's time to do my big one. It's time to go to Walmart and not grocery shop for like actually nourishing, healthy food. But I'm here to scope out some like good snacks so that I don't have to leave the house if I get a hankering for a good week and a half. So let's go through the checklist. Chex Mix and checklist. Something I've really been holding on to in my life recently are snickerdoodles. I never really cared for snickerdoodles as a kid. But all of a sudden, it's like this 11th hour, like, I have to have a snickerdoodle. If I'm feeling like I need something sweet after Din Din, or, you know, just at any point in the day, it has to be a snickerdoodle. And normally when I say that, it's normally kind of a bluff, because sometimes it's like, well, when I want something sweet, there's the option of like a candy sweet. And then that's very different from pastry sweet. And I personally think chocolate is in its own section. There's candy sweet, dessert sweet, chocolate sweet, because I feel like chocolate's a whole different category. And so when I'm like, I want something sweet, normally that it wavers between the three. It's like, okay, do I want a little chocolatey thing? Or do I want a pastry? Or do I want a little gummy candy? Every single time recently, I've been like, oh, the good medium middle ground of all three of those things, even though it's nothing like gummy candy or and ice cream. I feel like that's a whole different category too. But like, okay, so there's the four. I would say snickerdoodle is probably a good even mix of everything I would want in a little sweet treat. So I love heading for a snickerdoodle. I gotta be honest. I love a snickerdoodle. What's in for 2025, you may ask? Not snickerdoodles, because I'm keeping them all for myself. So put that in the back of your skull and fuck it. Okay. Other necessity, little snackety. Let's say it's like the 7-Eleven pickup. 7-Eleven pickup. So it's actually a completely different topic than what I was talking about a second ago. We're heading into 7-Eleven or just a gas station, who cares? And we're loading up on some snacks. We're about to, I don't know. We're going to binge watch Drag Race or something. Or we're going to binge some Coke. Meth. That's more relatable to my audience. Okay. We're binging meth and we want some snacks for the night. I'm getting okay. I'm trying to picture myself in the 7-Eleven. I'm getting a big gulp of Pepsi. And if there's not Pepsi, Coke is fine. I feel like I'm in the dark on this. I feel like I'm the only person who prefers Pepsi, but honestly, it's even keeled. I don't care. Pepsi, Coke, it's a brown bubbly liquid, I don't care. I'm getting a huge thing of that. I'm getting I know I was just kind of hating on Chex a second ago, in the brand, but I think I'm probably getting pizza flavored Chex because I had those like maybe a month ago and I can't stop thinking about them. I might pick up some pizza Chex after this. No. Should I be bad? Let's be bad. Well, now I said it online, so it's true, and I have to follow through with it. Okay, then I'm gonna get the evil twins. Or no, I'm not getting that. But do you know about evil twins? It's kind of like those snakes, those gummy snakes. It's just one is sour, one is sweet. Love that. But here's the thing. I am probably gummy lifesavers. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? Because I feel like out of all of the candies there, that's like the healthiest option. Just kidding. The healthiest would be the Welch's, obviously. Obviously the fruit snacks. Which sometimes I do go for the Welch's fruit snacks, which is like, yeah, what waste? Sometimes it's necessary. But yeah, a lifesaver. Love a lifesaver. And if I need a chocolatey thing, I love a Kinder Bueno. I love a Kinder Bueno. I was house sitting at one house and it was kind of a horrible situation. Let's just say I was profusely crying because of a mix-up. It happens. The house had stocks of Kinder Bueno. Like it almost seemed like the amount of Kinder Buenos they had was like the family's invested in the company or something. You better fucking believe I had as many as I could. Because if I'm getting the pay that I'm getting for this situation, I'm eating all of your Kinder Buenos. But that's just me. Oh, okay. Kylie said it's time for counseling. So counseling is going to be a segment on the show where you can email me at pudecast@gmail.com. Make the little tagline thing, counseling, and you can input your questions, comments, concerns, and things you need advice about, because I'm not sure you knew this, but God, the Christian, white, American God, he tells me all the secrets of the world. So I'm going to relay some information to you guys about what yeah. This question is from someone who would like to remain anonymous. Oh, that's so scandalicious. Hey, Pood, I have some romantic troubles. I thought I was getting some vibes from one of my friends and developed a small crush on them. But now I'm feeling like she isn't interested back. I don't know if she knew I had feelings or if it would change anything in how she felt, and I'm too scared to do anything because I value our friendship more than anything. How do I stop yearning? Now, I just want to let everyone know that this person informed me this is a sapphic situation. We should have an alert when there's a sapphic situation. So I'm not necessarily an expert on how lesbians work. Shocking, I know. But what I do know is developing feelings for someone who may or may not like you back. Who'd have thought this would happen to a little fag baby in a Christian school? Okay, so I think that, look, if you picked up a vibe, there's probably a vibe going on, because that's the thing. Lesbians are putting down vibes. I think amongst queer women, they are trying to assert a vibe more than I think in any other sort of situation, because they understand that the person that they like is probably just as intuitive as they are when it comes to emotions and feelings, because you guessed it, men aren't very involved in their feelings. And so if there was a vibe, there was probably a vibe to pick up. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Lesbians, please attest to this. I think that the second you allow yourself to be a bit messy is the second you kind of clean yourself up. And I am talking out of my ass, of course, but I just sort of think if you stop putting the expectation on yourself not to yearn, then you're not going to feel as guilty when you are yearning. And it'll kind of lift itself up, because part of these feelings is the shame. It's the shame around them that kind of fuels them a little bit. The more shameful I felt about being a queer kid was the harder it was to have queer feelings. But the second I started being like, okay, this is sort of an unarguable thing about me, and I started letting it be a situation that can just happen, it kind of all just sort of did what it could. And since there wasn't shame surrounding it anymore, it didn't have that armor to fight against like other parts of me. I feel like this is sort of the issue with a lot of feelings. A lot of it is something like shame that creates an armor and makes it harder for you to fight it. But the second you kind of strip it of its armor, then it's smooth sailing. You can just exist. And that's the tea. I'm so smart. I love myself. That was such great advice. Oh, yeah? Okay, Kylie's telling me to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you loved me and what I had to say about things, which I'm sure you didn't because this was a bit clunky, you can follow me on TikTok at Pudecast, Instagram at Pudecast, YouTube at Pudecast, where I'm hopefully going to be making more videos now that I have a camera that I spent a lot of money on, and now I'm going to feel like I have to. That's going to be fun. And also, it's the new year, new me. I'm sorry. It was from the meth I binged earlier. Remember? We talked about that. I've had a fun time. I'm sure you have too. Please leave a comment about how much you loved this. I think this is definitely going to be on YouTube. I'm not sure if it'll be on another podcasting platform because I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm going to find out and then I'm going to do it. So, this is Pood signing off. See you next year.